Hello, people. How's it going? Well, we're going to discuss my least favorite subject again, politics. Because we know how much I love politics. Yes, hot chocolate with rum in it. Yes, I do have rum in there. So I do like my rum on occasion, rare occasions. I like it. Usually either in my hot tea or in my hot chocolate or chocolate milk. I've been pondering this for a while now, at least for a couple of weeks now. Is Trump really a distraction? Is he? Did that just blank out? That's odd. Oh, my video seems to be. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Is Trump a coordinated distraction? Could it be that the real problem isn't so much that Trump is he's being used to distract evangelicals, particularly evangelicals, away from what they're supposed to be doing in the first place, which, by the way, is reaching the lost with the gospel, by the way, in case you were wondering. I've been pondering this lately, because since Kamala is now the running, instead of Biden, now that Biden has dropped out of the race, I'm shocked. Not really. He probably was told, you're not going to be running, I'm sorry. Camilla, who we had all along and planned to make president, but you refused to not be here anymore. So we're going to have you not run. But I really will anyway. But I get the impression that Trump, either directly or indirectly, seems to be a coordinated distraction from evangelicals to worry and to really get into politics more than anything else. More to worry about the state of things in the country more than anything else, but seem to ignore why they're here. The first mission of an evangelical Christian is to witness, is to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. That is the Great Commission. The Great Commission does not say go into all the world and defend, explain, exalt, and debate and whatever else your political philosophy. I get in trouble a lot of times when I mention this to some people, that Christians are not here to be into politics. We're not here to be political. We're here to do something for society. It doesn't have to be political, but we are here to be something, a force of the gospel in society. But I'm beginning to wonder if Trump is really, either directly or indirectly, by somebody else, I'm pretty sure I know who, to distract evangelicals, to get so wrapped up. And what I'm not going to call is not unimportant. It is an important subject. But it's like it's almost making sure that they don't do the one thing they're supposed to do other than everything else. I mean, the Great Commission, as I've said already, is not about politics. The Christian life is not about politics. The following of Christ is not about politics. You don't teach, preach, and defend and explain the sovereignty of God, at the same time espouse your political views as if somehow God's up there and Jesus is up there and they just can't wait to hear your political opinion. They don't care. But I wonder though if Trump is just not so much, because even if he gets elected, he's going to be there for 4 years, he's going to be gone, and all these problems are still going to be here. All these issues are still going to be here. All this other stuff is still going to be here. This idea that a president on either side, can solve any of society's problems is a laughable joke. I mean, we had the Great Society under Lyndon Baines Johnson, and look at the mess that created. Politics created that. I mean, I know that in the 80s it was Ronald Reagan, well, back then they were called fundamentalists. Now they're called evangelicals. They are, believe me. As I said in my last editorial video, I think the word fundamentalist has been turned into the word evangelical. And I really do think a lot of these people who claim to be Christians don't like that word, which is what I think they really, really have a problem with. Trump is just a symptom, but he's not the whole problem. Trump is just something they blast onto because the evangelicals like him. I know why they like him. I know exactly why evangelicals, for the most part, like Trump. He says nice things about their country. I've said this before. Trump says nice things about their culture, their history, their country, themselves, about the church. He doesn't attack the country. He doesn't, say terrible things. And I think, but I am beginning to think, because I think this is pretty accurate. I think he's a distraction. I think he's an orchestrated distraction. I'm going to try not to get too biblical in this, but I really do think that if I were the devil and I wanted to distract Christians from doing their soul-saving jobs, you know what I would do? I would create a political way to get them so involved, but they won't have time to be anything other than political. But they'll convince themselves that we have to get involved with societal issues. We have to get involved with cultural issues and so on and so forth. Yeah, you do. But none of those things are going to be solved by politics. Trump is not going to solve this country's problems. Here's a newsflash for you, people. Trump is not God. There are some people who have a problem with evangelicals and they think that they act like he's a god of some kind. It's like, I don't think so. I think the problem is that they're so enamored, not so much with Trump, but with what Trump says. Trump says all the right things. But he's Trump. He's a megalomaniac. He has the ego of the size of Jupiter. He likes himself. Trump is Trump. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I sometimes think I have to repeat myself. Trump is no different than he was 30 or 20 years ago. Trump only became a problem to the other side when he beat Hillary. But I really do think, and I'm beginning to think, the real problem with Trump for evangelicals is he does take their eyes off what they're supposed to be doing as Christians. Nowhere does it say in the Bible that Jesus said, go into all the world and preach my gospel, but don't forget your political opinions. And that's important too, because it's not. See, I think Trump is a distraction. I'm becoming more and more convinced that Trump is a distraction. And I'm going to just say the devil, because I think that's kind of where it originated anyway. But that gives me something to say. I really do believe if I were the devil and I wanted to distract Christians, evangelicals, fundamentalists, whatever you want to call yourselves, from doing what you're supposed to do as Christians, make it look good, of doing all that political stuff with just enough of a veneer of Christianity, of Jesus, just enough to make it sound like you're doing the same thing as well as preaching the gospel, which I'm coming to the conclusion that most of them don't. I mean, I listen to a lot of these people on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and this, that, and the other. And my thing is, I really think a lot of them have got themselves so worked up about Trump that they're missing the obvious. And that is, Trump is not the problem. I get the impression that literally too many of these anti-Trumpers think that somehow evangelicals view Trump as a messianic figure. And what they view him as, the pro-Trumpers, what they view him as is someone who cares about their country. And I think The devil has figured out, okay, I'm going to make them so enamored with Trump because he's going to say all the right things, but they won't have time to, well, do the one thing that Jesus told them to do. Because a lot of them don't. They're so busy. They're so busy being evangelical, political Christians. I told you, I'm not good at discussing politics. I don't like politics. I think Trump is not the problem. Trump is just a symptom. He's just part of the problem with Trump is once he got on the world stage, his ego grew. It got bigger. Oh, excuse me. Root beer and chocolate milk and rum do not mix. But I really do believe after thinking about it, because I have people on Facebook saying, "Is Trump the beast, the Antichrist?" Well, no, he can't be, because one, he's not going to become the Antichrist is not going to come from America. It's going to come from somewhere in Europe. I hate telling you this, but Trump doesn't qualify. Wearing the MAGA hat is not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is literally a mark on your hand and head. Trump is not making anybody wear his hat. He's not making anybody buy or sell without having that mark on his head. So until Trump starts doing that, which he won't, pretty sure he won't, he's not the Antichrist. I mean, I listen to all these Christians who don't like Trump spout some of those just things that just say, okay, have you read your Bible? You are aware you're describing someone he's not. Trump is not politically savvy. He doesn't unite people. He divides them, if anything. He has an ego. Believe me, the man has an ego. There's no doubt about that. But he doesn't qualify as the Antichrist. I hate to tell these people. I've given up trying to tell them. They view Trump as this problem without dealing with the real problem, which is Trump's spiritual condition. I mean, if you're a Christian, your first thing you should do is pray for the man. Just like you should pray for Kamala Harris. Just like you should pray for Joe Biden or any other politician. But as I've always said, and I will continue to say, politics and all its little tentacles, and there are tentacles all over the place, is the problem. Trump, I really do believe, is becoming a distraction, and I think it's a coordinated distraction. I think it's coordinated to keep evangelicals from doing what they're supposed to be doing first and foremost. And that is witnessing for Jesus Christ, for preaching the gospel, trying to reach the lost. That is what a Christian is supposed to do, not go to rallies and think you're accomplishing something. There's nothing wrong with going to rallies, don't get me wrong, but let me put it this way, I should rephrase this. What they're doing has no eternal value. It has societal value, true. It has cultural value, that is true. But eternal value, not so much. Trump can do nothing for evangelicals or anybody else eternally. He can maybe politically, maybe. And maybe he can do some society, maybe. But neither side can do anything. I mean, I'm as I said, I know I have a tendency to ramble when I talk politics, because politics, just to me, is so divisive. It really is. It's divisive. It's hateful. It's angry. It attacks. There's nothing uniting about politics. And there never has been. But people who are claiming that Trump is the Antichrist and this, that, and the other, I think people need to read the definition of what the Antichrist is in the Bible. Trump doesn't qualify. He ain't that smart. And he ain't that persuasive. And he isn't that charismatic. And he's not. I mean, I get it. It's I understand, as I've said a zillion times before, I get why evangelicals like Trump. I get why they like him. I get that. It's very human to like somebody who isn't insulting, criticizing, and attacking your country. Nobody likes their country being attacked. Well, people who like their country don't like their country being attacked. Most evangelicals love their country. And I'm sorry, most people on the other side don't like this country. And that is why people like Trump. Because he says nice things. But he ain't the Antichrist. He's just not. By definition, he's not. And wearing a MAGA hat is not the same thing as the mark of the beast. I know I've seen the memos on the on Facebook, and I'm thinking, I don't think you understand what the mark of the beast is. And they don't. I do love it how people who don't like the Bible in the first place and don't believe in the Bible in the first place like to use the Bible to criticize evangelicals, who then really don't defend what they. Well, that's a whole different story, but it is interesting. See, I think Trump, as I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it for a reason, I think he's a distraction. I think he's a coordinated distraction to keep Christians from doing what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. Dealing with cultural and societal issues is fine. You're supposed to influence society and the culture and this, that, and the other. But it never should ever become your primary or anything else reason to exist. There's nothing wrong with going to a rally, but keep in mind that you're really rooting for a very flawed man who cannot really solve any of society's problems. He's a Band-Aid, just like any other politician's a Band-Aid. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Politicians are useless. They're worthless. They don't really intend to solve any problems. They will create a lot of problems so they can stay in office, but they're going to solve very few of them. I know there are very few politicians, well, actually there are none actually, that I really support. Yes, I did vote last Monday. Was it Monday? Monday or Tuesday? Whenever last the election was. Monday? Tuesday? The point is I voted last week. I did vote. I have a sticker on my backpack that I go to work with. I voted. I too participated in the grand delusion that my vote actually matters. Yes, I know. I know what I sound like. No one's going to convince me last presidential election was not a heist, shall we say. But anyway. And as for Kamala Harris, she's not Trump. She's not Biden, and she's not Trump. That's true too. I can see her winning. I'm sorry, I do. I don't think they're good. Look, if Trump wins, okay. If Trump loses, okay. As a Christian would have to say as well, it's what God wants. It's his will that we get either a megalomaniac, Trump, or whatever Camilla is. I'm not sure. But she's trying to be nice. I don't get her. I try to listen to her sometimes, and I'm sorry. I have a hard time following her. But I'm not of her party. I'm not. I mean, I literally border on independent or Republican. I'm somewhere in the middle of those two. I'm an independent Republican. That's basically what I've become. I am a Teddy Roosevelt Republican. If you want to know the kind of Republican I am a Teddy Roosevelt Republican. Teddy Roosevelt is my hero for a lot of reasons, not just for his politics, but also because he did stuff. He lived, and I'm off topic now. But I did. I like him. I've always liked Teddy Roosevelt. I like him. I like Winston Churchill. Those are my top two. Says warning, I may start talking about history. I know you can't see the bottom part, but it says warning, may start talking. Suddenly my. What's the thing? May start talking about history. Can't read. But anyway, I've been talking a little longer than I had planned. But yeah, I really do think I'm coming to the conclusion that Trump is more of a coordinated distraction. I mean, it's a clever one, because it's hard to argue against being part of society and being part of the culture and caring about societal issues and cultural issues and this, that, and the other, and at the same time saying, yeah, but not through politics. I don't want to do it through politics. I don't To me, politics just seems to cause more problems than it's worth. People have managed to solve a lot of problems without politics being part of it. But anyway, I'm going to do another video in about an hour or so. Well, 30 minutes maybe. Well, people, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Behave yourselves, because you know I'm not going to. Later.